Welcome to the Interpreting for BES. The information contained in this BES should be considered and remain confidential. This BES will contain 3 parts: English to ASL, ASL to English, and site translation. Part 1, English to ASL, expressive interpreting. For this part of the BES, your audience prefers a more ASL-like delivery. You will be interpreting for a freshman level college speech course. This male student will deliver a persuasive speech on the topic of recycling, reusing, and reducing.
Recycling can not only change you, but everyone around you. In my speech today, I will be teaching you how reducing waste can decrease landfill space. Recycling can not only save you money, but also the world. And lastly, how reusing products like plastic bottles can save you money and also help the environment. Please listen closely on how my 3 points are helpful and beneficial to you, the planet, and the environment. First, let's begin with reducing waste. Stated in 2015 by EB, plastic bags were a big controversy in the West Coast. As many of the plastic bags were ending up in the oceans and on the beaches areas, San Francisco was one of the first places to start banning them. They banned them from everywhere in the city, especially the stores, which caused controversy with major companies like Walmart. Walmart said, we're willing to reuse these plastic bags only if we get enough to have the demand for it. They weren't getting the demand for it, so they stopped reusing them as much. And that was stated by Rob Kaplan in 2015. Now we're going to look at a worldwide perspective of landfills. We need to start reducing landfills and using recycling more. As in, it will stop pollution and it will save the environment. The problem with landfills is they're too cheap. Landfills that are cheap bring in more people because the money is less. As recycling takes more time, it may cost a little bit, but you'll be saving the environment. Because when people use landfills, they just decide to throw everything in there, as in they could be sorting things out and recycling them. One major thing that needs to be recycled and disposed of properly that people don't do is electronics. Most people just decide to throw their electronics away in the landfill and does not think about the environment. Every electronic has mercury in it. As the mercury seeps to the ground, and it will hurt the ground, the groundwater, the air, and also people. Ways to help that is disposing of electronics by donating them to special places or just bringing them to the nearest recycling center. That was stated by Sarah Zhang in 2016. Next, we're going to move on to recycling. Recycling in 2015, discussed by Andrea Davis, making separate bins for your house to recycle in. These 4 major bins will be newspapers and papers, plastics, aluminum cans, and metals. As you recycle all of these, it will be a good beneficial thing for everyone. Most people that live in urban areas, like Lincoln, Omaha, bigger cities, or Chicago, they don't take advantage of the curbside pickup. Curbside pickup is very beneficial to you as people come around weekly picking up all sell recyclables that can be recycled. That will decrease landfill space and maybe save some money in your pocket. Recyclables like aluminum cans can also save you money, or you can be making money per pound. Depends on which recycling center you go to. Also, having recycling centers increases jobs, and that's what America is all about. Recycling centers have made about 1.1 million jobs in recycling centers, with a payroll out of $37 billion annually. Annually is per year. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about recycling natural resources. Natural resources are things like oil and paper and lumber. In 2003, in 2015, stated by Jason Brennan, in 1 year, America disposed of 83 million tons of paper in landfills. If we could have cut that in half, we could have saved roughly 705 million trees and also 290 billion gallons of water. We're also going to do pollution in cars. As people change their oil frequently, about 200 million tons of car oil is not disposed of properly, as this is affecting our groundwater and our ground, and also the air that we breathe in. Disposing them of properly can also help the environment and your breathing. Lastly, we'll be reusing. Many people do reuse a lot of stuff, and it is good for it. Main thing most people reuse are plastic bags, and that was stated in 2015 by EB. Reusing plastic bags will help you, will help benefit recycling centers and not benefit landfills, as landfills are destroying our environment. Also, one thing you should be looking at is plastic bottles. You can reuse one single plastic bottle roughly 3 times, or you can go to a store and spend $8 on an aluminum bottle that you can use for travels and work. Make sure they are eco-friendly, as they are reusable. Another thing people don't think about is mechanical pencils. You can use a mechanical pencil and keep buying lead rather than buying wooden number 2 pencils and keep spending your money on them, or you can just use that one mechanical pencil for roughly 9 wooden pencils. Now that I have informed you on how reducing, reusing, and recycling are beneficial to you, the planet, and the environment, it can help you be a better person, and also it can help the environment. Remember, reducing waste will reduce the landfill size and therefore make more jobs for people in the recycling centers. Recycled plastic, glass, paper, metals, and aluminum cans that will make more jobs for people, and it will also help you. Please consider how these 3 topics can impact me, you, your life, and the people around you. Please take this into consideration.
This concludes Part 1. Part 2, ASL to English, Receptive Interpreting. For this part of the BES, your audience prefers a more English-like delivery. You will be interpreting for a woman who is recalling recent events as reported by the NAD. She will be discussing the topics of employment in the deaf community, BRI services, and voting.
Hi there, I'm MD, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 topics, which is employment, VRI, and voting. So within the past week, people have been talking about deaf employment and how that community is actually very small. And there's a lot of deaf people who actually don't work. But we want to look at nonprofit organizations who provide so much training and teachings to help fix that. And not only that, but we want to try and do more advertisement through Facebook. Maybe get through to the senator, people that you know in the town, other big companies, just different resources. So that way they can see that deaf people can work, because most of them don't really know that they can, and they don't take us seriously. One good example of that is the deaf Starbucks that was set up not too long ago. They have a deaf manager, deaf cashiers, deaf baristas, and it's been very successful. So that means that other companies look at that and go, oh my God, yeah, that's cool. That was very successful. And Starbucks actually donated $50,000 for NAD to work on the projects. And these projects include people that will be filming different videos of deaf employers, such as engineers, owners, teachers, scientists, and so much more. So that film will be used to make a short video to show everybody, young children as well, that deaf people do have opportunities to work, and kind of give them that seed to plant to start thinking about what they want to do in the future. And they will also have a live video chat. You can ask questions. And I'm really excited about that project. My next topic is VRI. And I just want to thank everybody who has voiced their concerns and comments about all the problems that have been going on for the past 6 years. We have been trying to figure all that out. And I think we finally established everything and got that done. And we actually built a website with all the information that you need to know on there, and it's also available in sign language. On the website, you can also find cards for people. If you want to print them out, then you can print them out and take it to a hospital, for say, to show those people there, the workers there, if they want to go to our website just to figure out more information about VRI. Because sometimes the people who do set up the VRIs, they don't really set them up correctly, and the video is not great, or they have no experience with setting it up, so it's just not the best thing to use at the moment. But yeah, if you go to the NAD website, it will explain all that. My last topic is voting. So the past few weeks, people have been voting. And I know some of you maybe have already done voting, you know what it's like, you know what to do. But there are still people out there who have not experienced yet, and they don't know what to do. So if you go to the ASL voting hotline, it is available in sign language as well, and it will explain what registration looks like and what you need to do and help guide you. Isn't that neat? I suggest you take advantage of that opportunity and go vote. Thank you.
This concludes Part 2. Part 3, Sight Translation. For this portion, you will interpret from written English. Your audience is a monolingual ASL user. You will have up to 2 minutes to read and comprehend the text. At the end of the 2 minutes, you will be prompted to begin the interpretation if you have not already begun. You will then have an additional 5 minutes to complete the interpretation. You will be prompted when the total time has elapsed. You will be interpreting a document as published by the American Diabetes Association. The document provides information for a more healthy diet plan for a person with diabetes. This concludes your BES. Remember, this material should be considered confidential.